Gregory's Misadventures. Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Flopville, lived a man named Gregory, who dreamed of becoming a superhero. He wasn't the most athletic nor the bravest, but Gregory had one thing going for him, a very vivid imagination. He imagined himself as the greatest hero the world had ever known, and he was absolutely certain that he was destined for greatness. Gregory's superhero name was Captain Clumsy. The name wasn't exactly glamorous, but he chose it because he was terribly clumsy. Every time he tried to do something heroic, it ended in chaos, like the time he tried to save a kitten from a tree, only to fall into a giant puddle of mud. But he refused to give up. He was determined to be a hero, no matter the cost. One day, Gregory was walking down the street in his makeshift superhero costume, which was really just a pair of pajamas and a cape made from an old towel. When he saw it, a bank robbery was happening right in front of him. The robbers were holding bags of money and they were escaping in a getaway car. This was it, the moment Gregory had been waiting for. "Gregory, I'm Captain Clumsy." The robbers looked at him and started laughing. "Robert, who's this? The world's worst superhero." But Gregory didn't care. He was ready. He jumped into action with all the grace of a baby giraffe on roller skates. He lunged at the getaway car, aiming to stop it by grabbing onto the back bumper. But instead of stopping the car, Gregory's hands slipped and he landed face first into a giant cake someone had carelessly left on the sidewalk. The robbers kept driving, unaware that they had just left the world's most awkward superhero in their dust. The next day, Gregory was walking down the street, determined to redeem himself. Suddenly, he heard a crying sound. It was a kitten stuck in a tree. This was a chance for redemption. Captain Clumsy would not fail today. "Gregory, I've got this!" He immediately rushed to the tree, positioning himself beneath it. Gregory had taken a tree climbing class once, but it was a disaster when he got stuck halfway up and had to be rescued by the instructor. But this time, he was sure he could do it. He grabbed the lowest branch and tried to pull himself up. But instead of climbing, he pulled the entire branch off the tree. The kitten, startled by the noise, jumped and landed safely on Gregory's head, where it promptly got stuck in his hair. "Gregory, I saved the kitten!" As he tried to untangle the kitten, he slipped on a banana peel someone had carelessly discarded on the sidewalk. In a wild flurry of arms and legs, Gregory crashed into a hot dog stand, sending hot dogs flying everywhere. The kitten, now free from his hair, landed on a hot dog bun, which it then decided to eat. Gregory, well, at least the cat's happy. Determined to prove his worth as a hero, Gregory was walking through the park when he saw a kid trapped on top of a jungle gym. The kid was crying, and it was clear he was stuck. This was the moment. Gregory was going to save the day. "Gregory, I'll get you down." He dashed toward the jungle gym, ready to climb up and rescue the kid. But as he reached the base, he realized there was no way up. The jungle gym was too tall for him to climb easily, and he had no ladder. But Gregory wasn't one to give up. He had an idea. He ran to the nearby ice cream truck thinking, "I'll use the ladder from the truck to climb." He grabbed the ladder, but as he tried to set it up, he accidentally kicked it, sending it flying into the nearby duck pond. The ladder landed in the water, and Gregory, in his determination, tried to jump into the pond to retrieve it. However, he missed and landed straight into the pond himself, creating a huge splash that sent ducks flying everywhere. Meanwhile, the kid had climbed down the jungle gym on his own, while laughing at Gregory's misadventures. "Kid, maybe you're better at swimming than rescuing." Gregory, now covered in mud and pond water, was ready to throw in the towel. But just as he walked down the street, he saw it, a giant robot terrorizing the city. It was smashing buildings and everyone was running in fear. "This is it!" Gregory thought. "I can stop the robot!" He took a deep breath and pulled out his trusty superhero gadget, a rubber chicken. He thought it might confuse the robot, or maybe just be funny enough to distract it. So, with his rubber chicken in hand, he charged at the robot, shouting, "Gregory, I am Captain Clumsy, and I will save this city." The robot turned and looked down at him, unimpressed. Gregory raised the rubber chicken high in the air and swung it at the robot's foot. Nothing happened. Then, in a shocking twist of fate, the rubber chicken slipped out of his hand, flew straight up into the air, and landed on the robot's control panel, causing the robot to short-circuit. The robot froze, making a series of strange noises, and then collapsed into a pile of scrap metal. The crowd stared in disbelief. Gregory, covered in mud and still holding the rubber chicken, stood triumphantly in front of the fallen robot. The crowd cheered, thinking it was all part of his plan. Gregory, I did it! I'm Captain Clumsy and I saved the day! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Gregory, through a series of unfortunate accidents, became the most unlikely hero in Flopville. Moral of the story. Sometimes being a hero isn't about being perfect or having a flawless plan. Sometimes it's about accidentally saving the day, making a mess of everything, and still somehow coming out on top. This hilarious story about Captain Clumsy, who tries his best but fails hilariously, is full of twists, slapstick humor, and a completely unexpected victory. It'll have anyone laughing non-stop as they imagine Gregory's clumsy yet strangely heroic attempts.